Terrific instincts.
And so it's the New Orleans Pelicans, holding on to an 8-point lead heading into the break. They've set the tone. They love their tempo. They're going to be very tough to stop. We'll return shortly.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Some big-time action already in this one. I'm Ernie Johnson, along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. After the first 2 quarters of play, it's New Orleans in control. They've got a 2-point lead. Kenny, some perspective, please.
Well, there was a big spark from the bench in the first half. Sometimes you're hoping for your reserves to come in and just hold court, but they didn't do that. They actually got better.
And, big fella, let's get your thoughts on the Thunder.
Well, they shot under 40% in the half. That tells the story right there. The defense deserves some credit for disrupting them a little bit, but they need to counteract with more creativity on offense. Few isolations, more movement, better shot selection.
That's all for now. Say goodbye to the folks. Thanks
Goodbye,
for
folks.
joining us. Third quarter, just about ready to begin.
Not a double-double. And there's nowhere to go but up for him. And we'll be right back after this.
The D wide open with this feed. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
Creating plays for others, it's an art form, but it's also a discipline. Fantastic job.
For David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Steve Smith, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. See you next time. And they've done a phenomenal job down low. So many of their points coming right at the rim. We've got more in store for you right after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you back here on our halftime show. Well, actually, we can't see you, but you can see us, but you get it. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal. You're watching the NBA on 2K Sports. It's Brooklyn out in front at the half. They've got the 7-point lead. And over to Shaq. What do you think about Brooklyn?
Well, they really dictated the pace of the game with their transition game. They got out on the break every chance they had, and the time they could push the tempo, they did. And a lot of times it kept the defense scrambling like eggs with the cheese and apple juice.
Kenny, what'd you think about Detroit?
Well, one problem I see is that they're too timid on the boards. When you start to fall behind in the game, you need to become more aggressive on the offensive glass and the defensive glass.
Thanks for joining us, folks. We're now just a few minutes away from the start of the third quarter.
And time to step aside quickly, but we'll be back in no time with the start of the fourth quarter.
And I'm glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call court vision.
But it's also called making a good read, understanding
Joining us,
where
that'll do it for
everyone
now. For Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. So long and good night, everyone. For the start of the second quarter.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And we hope you enjoyed the competitive first half of action. Ernie Johnson here welcoming you back to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. That guy right there is Shaquille O'Neal, and that guy right there is Kenny the Jet Smith. There was no stopping Paul Millsap in the first half. He had 14 points, 10 rebounds, and 1 steal. His last game out, he was just not himself. But tonight, he has rounded right back into form with a very solid first half. Kenny, your thoughts on the Nuggets' first half?
Well, their success was largely about second chance points. They crashed the offensive boards heavy in the first half. I love how they fight for every 50-50 ball like it's the last ball on earth.
Shaq, what'd you think about Orlando?
Well, a lot of their points came in transition. They dictated the pace of the game. It was a fast pace. Put the defense back on its heels. I say keep attacking the second half. Do not slow down.
Thanks for joining us, folks. We're now just a few minutes away from the start of the third quarter.
Denver on top, up by 2. 2K Sports, back in a moment from the Amway Center.
Yeah, a terrific, unselfish play right here. Set up his teammate, and how about the setup this was?
Boy, GA, how about the secondary playmaking you are getting? Great to have that from the shooting guard spot.
Our Jordan player of the game, Nikola Jokic.
And he's put on a terrific show of skill in the paint. A combination of moves, footwork, and that soft touch down low. It's all added up to one dominant performance for the big fella.
He's really seemed to feed off the hostile environment he's been faced with tonight. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We welcome you back. Ernie Johnson with Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. Quite the tussle there in the first half, huh? Out in front at the half is Phoenix. They lead by 5. Kenny, what do you think?
Well, I thought that turning point was when the bench came in. Those guys really hustled, and they gave the team some energy, and then they started to score baskets. That was a bonus.
Shaq, your take on Memphis.
Well, they've been getting worked on the glass. Out-hustled, out-muscled, out-bustled. Where's the fight? I know they got some tough matchups down low, but if they really want to win the game, they need to crash the boards way harder in the second half.
That's all for now. Say goodbye to the folks. Thanks
Goodbye,
for
folks.
joining us. Third quarter, just about ready to begin.
Favorite to bag this honor. These kind of feeds are his bread and butter.
Control the pace. Get it to the right guy at the right time. These requirements top the list if you're a good point guard.
Our Jordan player of the game, Ja Morant.
And guys, no doubt who our pick was going to be. He's made everyone else on the court look like they're playing at half speed. It's been total domination, and you can't help but just sit back and admire that performance.
Their previous 2 games have been losses, so something had to change to get them going again. He provided that spark, giving them a huge jolt of energy. For being with us. And we'll see you next time. Bucket defense setting the tone. Right back after this break.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, folks, can't tell you how much it means to us to have you back with us on the halftime show on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal. Means the world, doesn't it?
Miss you.
Yeah.
So big.
A nice show being put on tonight by Chris Middleton. He had 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 steal. In their previous game, he had a performance he said he wanted to put behind him quickly, and so far he's doing just that with the nice first half he had here. Kenny, your thoughts on the Bucks' first half?
Incredible shooting display by Chris Middleton. Facing up, back to the basket, doesn't matter. Even when the defender's there, his length and timing allows him to get off that shot.
Shaq, what was your takeaway on Toronto?
Their field goal percentage reminds me of Kenny's breath. Brutal. Not reading the defense, not getting enough quality looks. They need to make major changes because the system they ran in the first half was not working.
That's all for now. Say goodbye to the folks. Thanks
Goodbye,
for
folks.
joining us. Third quarter, just about ready to begin.
To get points in the paint has made all the difference in this one. Back to the action after this word.
Be known as a pass-first guy playing out of the two-guard spot, but he shows here that he can dole out an assist or two when he needs to.
That's right. I mean, that's not his primary duty, but when the situation calls for it,
To present our
he
Jordan
can
player
do
of the
it.
game, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
And he's got to be thrilled with how well he shot the ball, Kevin. Good on almost 60% of his shots. That's what I call an efficient performance. And a team loves having someone that dependable.
It's time,
They
folks,
can
for our
rely on.
broadcast. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. We'll see you next time. The second quarter will get underway just after this short break.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Some big-time action already in this one. I'm Ernie Johnson, along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. The first half was all about Karl Anthony Towns. He had 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks. He has bounced back nicely from what was a tough night for him in their last game. Judging by that first half, he's back to his old self again. And, Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
Well, they've been pounding. I mean, pounding it in the paint. Not just taking the first three-pointer when it came across. That keeps the defense on its toes.
Shaq, what was your takeaway on Washington?
Well, I didn't even know who some of these guys were, but their bench came up with some big shots. Gave the team a lift offensively. It's always possible those guys will see more minutes in the second half, but at the same time, you're a starter for a reason. We shall see, Ernie.
And that'll do it for our halftime report. Stay tuned for the second half, about to get underway.
Definition of teamwork right there, guys. I mean, what great communication between them, and what a beautiful feed.
And, Greg, nothing better than chemistry, right? Working together to create a bucket.
Our Jordan player of the game, Karl Anthony Towns.
And he's had a very good night shooting the basketball. A little over 50% from the field, and a lot of those shots have come against some tight D. That shows the level of his focus and consistency.
Wrap it up, folks. For Doris Burke, David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. So long, everyone. Up 10. Live from Chase Center. You're watching 2K Sports.
the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back to 2K Sports, everybody. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. Let's talk about that first half. So it's Golden State who's out on top at the half. They are completely in control of the game, leading by a massive amount. Kenny, what's your take?
Well, they were completely in rhythm shooting the basketball. Just watching the flow of their offense, everything clicked into place. Fantastic shot selection. They took advantage of everything the defense gave them.
And big fella, your thoughts on the Hornets?
Well, you live by the three and you die by the three. And today, they're dying. And as cold as they've been behind the arc, they keep firing from deep. What are you doing? I know they got a lot of ground to make up, but they can't continue with this game plan. Not working.
And that's a wrap. With the third quarter approaching, we now send you back to Kevin and the crew.
The quarter. They've had active hands and, of course, a lot of turnovers in this one. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
True artistry right there. I mean, great decision on where to go with the ball, and how about the perfect delivery?
Execution. This is what you practice every day. These guys
Greg
are
Anthony,
professionals.
David Aldridge, Steve Smith, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you later.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you back here on our halftime show. Well, actually, we can't see you, but you can see us, but you get it. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal. You're watching the NBA on 2K Sports. Leading the way at the start, it was Damian Lillard. He had 11 points, 4 assists, and also 3 steals. Shaq, how do you think the Trailblazers were playing?
I don't think anyone expected to see such numbers from the bench. You know, I'm impressed. It was what they needed, the jolt they needed, Ernie. Wow, I never knew their bench. Matter of fact, I don't even know any of their players coming off the bench. Man, keep going, bench guys.
And Kenny, what are your thoughts on Philadelphia?
Well, one problem I see is that they're too timid on the boards. When you start to fall behind in the game, you need to become more aggressive on the offensive glass and the defensive glass.
And that does it for our halftime show. We now take you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the third period.
Third quarter, they have definitely increased their energy level here.
And so it's the Portland Trailblazers in the driver's seat, up 8 points at the end of the quarter. They've set the tone. They love their tempo. They're going to be very tough to stop. We've got more NBA basketball coming your way in just a minute.
Allows you to kind of just reset.
And now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Hassan Whiteside.
And, guys, it's been a rugged brand of defense he's played. I don't know why they keep taking the ball at him. It seems like every time they have, he's come up with the rejection. And with every block,
For
he's
Fred
only
Berry,
got...
Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. So long.